You hated to love it?
You ever hate somebody
Yes.
or anger somebody?
Yes.
That's how I feel about this movie.
This week on Trees in Space, we watched She Came to Me, the rated R comedy drama romance directed by Rebecca Miller and also written by Rebecca Miller. I'm Nate Hanks, and with me is my great friend Jason Smith. What is going on, good sir? Welcome everyone to Trees in Space.
Yes, welcome everyone. It's good to see you. For those that are first time here, thank you for checking us out. And if you've been here before, thank you for returning, because we know you didn't have to.
And give us a like.
Yeah.
Follow.
Subscribe, Let us know what you want, because of this show, as you can tell, we review movies. Some movies some you don't. And I'm going to go on a ledge or whatever here and say that most people probably don't know this movie.
No, this movie is about composer Steve Landam is creatively blocked and unable to finish his score for a big upcoming comeback opera. At his behest, his wife Patricia, formerly his therapist, he sets out in search of inspiration. What he discovers is much, much more than what he had bargained for.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you that it's because I'm ignorant. I'm an ignorant person. I don't know things. I didn't realize that opera can be written in any language the opera writer can write it in. I
thought it was always had to be in Latin.
Yeah, or Italian. Yeah, so I didn't know there was English word operas.
I didn't either.
I mean, I knew that when the Italians were singing the operas, that they were just saying in Italian or whatever. They weren't like anything special about it. It just sounded great because it was Italian.
Right. I also didn't realize that you could create a new opera.
Yeah.
I thought that they were always
all done.
Yeah, like what was there, and that's it.
Does it make you want to go watch an opera in English?
No.
I mean, no, it doesn't, because it's like a musical, but it's on stage and it's just the
I feel like people only go to operas because they want to feel sophisticated.
I think you're right. And this movie, I think it was made so Rebecca Miller feels sophisticated.
I understand now why there's no boobies in this movie.
That is true. And I mean, it's not like the two main actresses, Anne Hathaway and the tugboat captain.
Yeah.
What was her name? Marissa Tomei.
Yes.
Who are not ashamed in any way, shape, or form about showing their boobs.
No.
Did not show their boobs. And there was one scene where Anne Hathaway got butt naked.
Oh yeah, and that was a very interesting scene. Could you imagine being the patient in that that particular scene?
Because it reminded me of the Seinfeld episode where she walked around naked all the time.
Yes.
And then she starts coughing and the muscles contract. And I think that's what she was doing as she's screaming, because that was muscles all tensed up. It's not a pretty naked body. It's not.
No.
So, but we mentioned the two actresses.
Yes.
But the
Peter Dinklage, the main character, the main actor in this film.
I love him.
Me too. He's brilliant. I thought
Great
he
actor.
played this so well. He was charming. He played the part of anxious, writer-blocked composer.
He did.
That's what I do. I drink and I know things.
Very well. It was definitely... It's a movie that I never would have thought of watching.
I never would. Yeah, I wouldn't have either. I love the character of Marissa Tomei. I actually like the idea of the jobs they have. I mean, they talk about. I mean, who thinks of writing a character that's a tugboat captain?
Though how stalker like I'm addicted. I'm an addict. Oh, what are you addicted to? Romance.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the
Like,
show.
what?
She's addicted to romantic comedies and romance itself.
yeah.
So she thinks when, you know, all these meet cutes. That means something, so she gets addicted to it. So she brings men home when she meets them in bars and trying to make a life for that person or with that person.
And she relocates from Louisiana to New York.
Yeah, I think they're in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere over there. Maybe Boston. Might have been Boston.
No, it was definitely New York.
It was definitely New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Boston's too below Anne Hathaway.
and Anne Hathaway, for some reason, has this OCD cleaning thing, and they didn't really address it, but you knew it because the way the scenes were made.
Right.
Was she doing the trash, or she has gloves on, or
Well, she does say at one point that she's a cleaning addict. She loves cleaning.
Remember, it's a movie about addicts.
So when
Because he was an alcoholic.
I don't know. I don't think I really considered him to be an alcoholic. I just considered him to be a neurotic mess.
He could have been a neurotic mess, kind of like the movie. And there was a side plot with Anne Hathaway's oldest son, who starts dating the daughter of Anne Hathaway's housekeeper.
Yes.
And
stepdad.
Okay.
Be crazy.
Stepdad, be crazy. I liked all the characters except stepdad. He was something.
He was a prick.
You're a prick!
He was, and he's a stenographer for the courts.
Courtroom stenographer.
Who thinks
another completely random
exactly.
ass job.
That's what I'm saying. All these random ass jobs. And what happened? I'm going to tell you all. He'll tell you. What happened was the son, who's 18, has sex with the 16-year-old, and they've been in a relationship for a while. Completely sensual. I'm sure it was consensual.
I'm sure it was sensual.
I'm sure it was too.
Perhaps.
They had plenty of Polaroids. I didn't know they had Polaroids anymore. I knew they had the small Polaroid sticks, but I didn't know they did big Polaroids anymore. And the stepfather finds out, who's adopted the child.
Yes.
And he wants to put him in prison. And no one else wants it. The mother doesn't. The German, she's German, and I loved her. There was that relationship that was kind of strained. But who does that? I'm a father. I have two little girls. They're not little no more. They're adult, but I would have done that. At 18, and I mean, he just turned 18. She was about to turn 17.
Right, and then force them to get married.
Yes. And
what the crap is that?
Yes. Enforcing it, and that was it all intertwined together in a weird kind of way, but it made him so mad at this weird damn stepfather who does Civil War reenactments and thinks he's an attorney of some sort. I don't...
And and then he gets butthurt about the attack and how it happens, and like, dude, it's fun.
Yeah,
fun.
It's that character was a pain in the ass. So, we do spoilers here, right? So
I mean, we spoiled quite a bit already.
So might as well tell everyone. Okay, so like it says, his wife sends him out. He goes to a bar at 11 o'clock in the morning and meets Marissa Tomei. She's the only one there.
Yes. Katrina. Yes.
Because that's the name of her boat. And
her name.
Yes. And so she picks him up and they go back to her boat.
Which, come on. You're going to really name your boat after yourself?
Oh, her dad did, because that was her dad's boat.
Oh.
Remember, she got handed down from her dad.
But he could rename. She should have renamed it like...
She could have.
Don's Dinghy.
Right. So he has sex with her.
Well, she has sex with him.
Yes, she has sex with him. So then suddenly he writes a play. A brilliant play about... Opera. About a woman that is addicted to love and romance and brings men back to her... I don't think it was a tugboat.
No, it was a tugboat. Yeah. She was a tugboat captain. And he didn't take much from...
Except for at the end, she kills them. She kills her lovers.
And eats them.
So, and it becomes a huge success. And for some reason, because the Marissa Tomei's character, Katrina, is so involved with him, I guess, she goes watch the play. So she knows about her, so she thinks there's a connection.
Right, and that she's his muse.
Yes, and she is, and he says that she is after a while.
Yeah.
And then she goes get help because he goes, "You need help." So she says, "I do." So she goes see a psychiatrist, a therapist, and guess who she goes see?
His wife.
Yes. And
And-
she, at first she tries to not say who she is,
And then she says that she's a tugboat captain.
and that's all it took.
That's it.
And then she's like, and then so the wife or the mother, I don't remember her name.
I don't know. Insert her name here.
Okay, edit guy.
Yeah, right there.
And so she finds out, and of course she tells him about it, and she has a nervous breakdown.
Oh yeah, starts packing her shit.
And she wants to become a nun.
Yes.
She's been called into the nunnery or what have you. Well, long story short, which someone else will have to tell it.
I understand. Let's get on with it.
Watch the movie.
It might be shorter than this reaction. He has to go back to the tugboat captain because he's trying to get his son or stepson
Yes.
to marry the 16-year-old, and because the stepfather knows all the cops, they can't just drive because
No.
So they have. So he goes, begs and pleads, "Hey, can we take your tugboat and bring them to the state in which they can get married?"
It's a regular planes, trains, and automobiles.
And I'm not gonna ruin the end.
You remembered a lot more of this movie than I did.
It's because I loved it.
You hated to love it?
You ever hate somebody
Yes.
or anger somebody?
Yes.
That's how I feel about this movie.
Fair.
It was so it was so bad. It had no right being this good.
Well, you know what?
What?
The audience felt that this movie was a 77%, where Rotten Tomatoes gave it a whopping 44%.
That means it's a good movie
If the audience thinks it's better than Rotten Tomatoes,
because the critics know nothing.
they usually don't.
They know nothing.
They
so.
seemingly don't. No. All right, so let's get into our 5-star and 1-star reviews. This one comes from OBK. It says, a classic setup, typical New Yorkers and their shrink problems, but a piece of art. All emotions and all dialogues breathe calmless. Young, sensible kids that react in normal way when under pressure is very encourageable to watch. Very nice soundtrack. I loved it until the end. Was there a soundtrack?
Well, they're yeah.
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
I guess there's.
Yeah. It's an
an
opera.
opera.
Yeah, it's like,
They gotta have music somewhere.
and he didn't like that lady singing that one song. No,
it's wrong.
It's wrong. He was freaking out. But go ahead.
Yeah. A lot of storylines and usable truths to pull out of the cliche dormant state. One theme I found: the son and the captain are two persons whose lives are or could be determined by the mechanics of judicial system.
This person's name's OBK. I'm not sure if English is their first language, if they were typing too fast, but I'm not sure what all that meant. But the son and the captain, so the 18-year-old boy,
Yes.
because his life was about to be ruined.
Oh yeah, he was about to. Oh, I loved when the girl was like, he's gonna have to go door to door and
Yes.
tell
Tell everybody he's a pedophile or sexual whatever.
offender.
Offender. And that's, oh my God. So the first 1-star or less review comes from Mario H. I lasted a whole 25 minutes into the story. Yeah, that's usually about 23 minutes longer than I last. Anyways, Peter Dinklage as an irresistible chick magnet doesn't work for me. I guess that's why he doesn't want the small people to be in Snow White, because he is all that. But he's not a chick magnet. He's just a struggling artist, and a lot of women love that about people.
And he just happened to walk into a bar at 11 a.m.
Yeah. And
while his poor dog is sitting outside waiting.
And
for
by
him.
all metrics, he's a good-looking man.
He is a very attractive man.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
nothing wrong with short people. Jerome L. said this is an extremely unusual movie and is about as far removed as possible from the tedious cookie cutter stuff that is shown on theater screens. The movie starts on a little on the slow side, but then builds and builds. She Came to Me is the best movie that my wife and I have seen this year.
I do not like it when people say stuff like that because we, reading this, have no idea how many movies him and his wife have seen all year.
They've seen 2.
Yeah.
The other one was Strays.
Okay, so Janice, where you at? I thought the movie was one of the worst I have ever seen. Convoluted, absolutely no flow, and just a hideous story. People are mean.
Hashtag people are mean. Victoria P. She Came to Me takes you on a journey of finding yourself and following your heart. A star-studded cast that really encapsulates the vibes and tones for Miller's film. Would def recommend a watch.
I mean, yeah, I would watch it.
I'd recommend.
I did. Yeah, I'd watch. Yeah, you should watch it.
I would recommend this movie.
It's not in that one review said it's not a cookie cutter. It's not.
No, it's very unique.
Don't expect the typical movie.
No.
Okay, Ted A, who was verified October 7th. This film is just awful. I don't know what else to say about it. It's terrible. Yet he goes on in a paragraph. How Anne Hathaway got talked into a role on this is beyond understanding. Because it was a good role.
And it paid.
Yes. It's a total bore fest. I was going to walk out of the theater and then I realized, mercifully, that it was 20 minutes from ending. So I toughed it out because I knew I'd be asked to rate it. They get asked to do this?
Apparently. Did you get paid to do this?
Oh, God, I feel an obligation to warn others about the celluloid travesty. Okay, I get that you might not like a movie, but I don't think I even said Strays was that bad.
I wouldn't pull my thesaurus out to come up with words to figure out how to describe a movie.
That's pretty bad.
And the what the F comment for this movie comes from Josh G. A melodrama with some good and bad elements. The cast does well enough for the film, trying to be a slice of life, but misses the mark on relatable characters. The opera sequence drove me nuts. VeggieTales did a better job with Barbara Manatee. It's overwhelmingly average with moments of charm. The 2 stories the film presents are okay and leave me tired of watching. I want to like it, just don't give me much love. When the ending hits, we are left with a mix of emotions and changing aspect ratios.
Oh, it did do that.
Sound mixing that is loud, then quiet, loud, then quiet. A story that is mostly forgettable, just a bad script.
That just sounds like a bad review. That don't sound like what the hell. It's like, it makes sense, except for I don't know who Barbara Manatee is.
As far as a rating for this movie, I would say I would highly recommend it. It's a one-time watch. It's like a condom. Use it and flick it. I would say it's about a 2 tree and 1 stump.
I enjoyed the movie. Like I said, I hated it because it shouldn't have been that good, but it was that good because the actors, I guess they're actors, not say actresses anymore, were all phenomenal. Even the young man, the young woman, the little boy, the 16-year-old,
the 18-year-old, the kids.
They did a great job. Yeah. The casting was great. I thought the writing was fun. I think it was a little convoluted, and it crossed over a little bit where it's like, is that really needed and stuff like that. But because I can't compare it to any other movie I watched because I'm not sure what this genre it falls into.
Nandor, Fodor, and the Talking Mongoose.
I would never thought if it was in that category that the Mongoose would be a better movie. It's an artistic movie, and I don't like artistic movies mostly. So I'm just gonna give it 1 tree and a stump.
I thought you were about to say one stump.
I was gonna say 1 star. I was like, "What are we doing here?"
Thank you, everyone, for watching Trees in Space, our review of She Came to Me. If you liked it, please leave a like, and if you want, leave a comment, subscribe, tell your friends, your family, your sisters, your dogs, your cousins, and your hogs. I love you all. Appreciate it. Take care. I've been Nate. That's been Smitty.